The learning target is I can use measures of variability to read and interpret box and whisker plots. So we need to know a few numbers to help us interpret box and whisker plots. The first one is the median. It's also called quartile 2. And it's the middle number of the data set, and specifically when the data is ordered from least to greatest. So I'm going to order these numbers below. From least to greatest, we have 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And then to find the middle number, we can cross out one number on each side until we're left with one number in the middle. So in this case, the median, the middle number, or quartile 2, is 17. Now, quartile 1 and quartile 3, quartile 1 is the middle number of the lower half, and quartile 3 is the middle number of the upper half. So we just found out that 17 was our median, right? If we cross off one on each side, we're left with 17. We're going to draw a line down that middle number, and now we have two halves. We have the bottom half, and we have the upper half. And so we're going to do the same thing to find the middle number of the lower half. So we can cross out 15, 16, and we're left with 15. So that's our quartile 1. 17 is our quartile 2. And now we can cross off 18, 20, and we're left with 19. That's our quartile 3. So this is quartile 2, quartile 1. So middle number, lower half, upper half. And then we have the minimum, which is the smallest number in the data set, and maximum, which is the biggest number in the data set. So when they're ordered from small to big, it's easy to see that 15 is the minimum, our smallest number, and 20 is the maximum, our biggest number. A box and whisker plot displays the 5 measures of variability of the data set. So it's going to display the minimum, which is our lowest number, and that's our whisker right here. Then we also easily to find is the quartile 2 or the median. That will always be inside the box with the line down the middle. And the maximum, which is our highest number, which is the other whisker over here. And now we're left with our quartile 1, which is this box right here. So quartile 1 or Q1. And right here, quartile 3. So quartile 1 and quartile 3 make the box. The median, quartile 2, is inside the box. And then the minimum and the maximum make our whiskers. So it says use the box and whisker plot to identify the 5 measures of variability. Well, the easiest one to find is the minimum and maximum. So the minimum here would be our lowest number, which is here. So it looks like it's going by 2, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70. So our minimum is 64. And our maximum would be right here, which 92, 90, 90, 92, 94. Now, our median is also easy to spot. It's inside the box with the line, so that's right here. So if this is 70, 72, 74, 76 is our median. Our lower quartile is the bottom half of the box. Our upper quartile is the top half of the box. So the lower quartile would be here. Well, if this is 60, 62, 64, 66, 68. And if this is 80, 82, 84 would be our upper. And then the last thing we didn't talk about is the interquartile range. The interquartile range is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So it would be 84 minus 68. which would be 16. All right, so let's start differently this time. Let's start with the median. The median is our box, inside our box with our line right here. Well, we don't have specifics, but we know it's a little bit more than 60. Let's say maybe 62, 61 or 62. Let's go with our lower quartile. This case, our lower quartile is the bottom part of our box. We bring it right down. We can say that's 30. The upper we know is the upper our box. We can say it's 70. It's close to it. Might be 68, 69, close enough. Our minimum is our whisker. Our whisker goes out to here. Let's say it's maybe 18 or 19. And our maximum whisker is here. If we bring it down a little bit more than 90, let's say maybe 92. And then our interquartile range, we know would be our upper minus our lower. We want to know how big is this box. That's what we mean by the IQR. How big is that box? So 70 minus 30 would give us 40 for the interquartile range. All right, so now we have 2 on the same, and we want to kind of answer some questions based on it. So bookstore B will be this one over here. Our median, well, our median's right there. If we travel it down, it's going to be 85. Our lower quartile, we know, is going to be 75. Our upper quartile is going to be 90, right? I'm looking right here. If we bring it down, it's about 90. Our minimum, which is right here, if we bring it down, it's going to be 70. And our maximum, which is right here, if we bring it down, it's going to be 125 or close to it. Might be a little bit more, a little bit less. And then our IQR is going to be our upper minus our lower, so 90 minus 75, which will give us 15. All right, now let's look at bookstore A. Our median in the box, in the middle with the line, would be 90. Our lower would be 75. Our upper would be 105. Our minimum, that lower whisker, would be 65. And our maximum, that upper whisker, would be 130. And we know our 105, our upper, minus our 75, our lower. So our IQR would be 30. Now we're going to use these to say, so it says which bookstore has a higher median? So we're looking at 85 and 90, which means bookstore A has a higher median. Which bookstore has the highest score? Highest score is asking for our maximum. So we have 125 and 130. So again, we would say bookstore A. Very similarly, we have first period and we have second period. So first period, let's start with the median. It's our line down the middle of the box. We'll say it's 80. Our lower is the lower part of the box. Let's say it's 75. Our upper is our upper part of the box. Let's say it's 90. Might be a little bit off here and there. That's okay. Our minimum is our lower whisker. Let's say it's 60. And our maximum is our upper whisker. Let's say it's 97. And our IQR is our 90, our upper, minus our lower, which is 75, which again is going to be 15. All right, second period. Start with our median. Inside the box is 85. Our lower is our lower piece of our box, which is 80. Our upper, which is our upper piece of the box, which is 90. Our minimum, our lowest whisker is 70. And our maximum, our upper whisker is 95. And then our IQR would be our 90, our upper, minus our 80, our lower, which would give us 10. And so now it's asking which period has the lower median score. Well, we have 80, we have 85. 80 is lower, so we would say first period. Which period has the lowest score? Well, the lowest score means the minimum. So we have 60 and we have 70. So again, it's going to be first period. And our last question is a state test question. It says the bowling team participates in a 2-day tournament and records the scores for each team members on both days. The scores for both days are represented by the box plot below. So it says, choice A, the scores on Friday and the scores on Saturday have the same median and the same interquartile range. Well, let's start with median. The median for Friday is here, which let's see. I'm going to assume it's going to go by fives. 205, 210, 215, 220. Yep, 225. So the median for Friday is 510, 215. And the median for Saturday is 205. Those are not the same, so we can cross out choice A. The scores on Friday have a greater median and a greater interquartile range than Saturday. Well, 215 is greater than 205, so let's leave B for now. Let's see if we can cross out anything else. Choice C says the scores on Friday have a greater interquartile range, but the scores on Saturday, but they both have the same median. So same median, we know we can cross that out. 215 and 205 are different. The scores on Friday have a greater median, but both data have the same interquartile range. Okay, so now we have to find the interquartile range for both B and D. So interquartile ranges are our upper box minus our lower box. Our upper box here was 220. And our lower box here is 200. So 220 minus 200 would give us 20. So Friday's interquartile range is 20. And now our upper box here, which is 210, minus our lower box here. Let's figure it out. 175, 180, 185, 190. So 210 minus 190 will give us 20. So scores on Friday have a greater median and a greater interquartile range. They have the same interquartile range. The scores on Friday have a greater median. Yes, 215 is greater. And they have the same interquartile range, 20 and 20. Yes, choice D.